First of all, thank you for being with me here at Mastermind Media.
Thank you for having
It
me.
has been a long, long time coming, and I am so happy to see you, Miss Evelyn. Welcome to Evolutionary. This is a space where we are going to discuss authentic self-love, authentic healing. All things are on the table as long as you're comfortable with that. And I'm just happy to have you here. So let's dive
excited.
in.
Yes,
Let's dive
thank
in.
you.
So Miss Evelyn LaChapelle,
Yes, ma'am.
you are owner of 87 Months.
Yes.
You did 87 months, correct?
I did. I was sentenced to 87 months in prison, which is 7 years, 3 months. I did a total of 5 years in custody
In custody.
and 4 years probation.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So a lot of people don't understand the complexities of what that is.
Mm-mm.
So I just want to go back and tell me like exactly from the time you started your time, what were your charges?
I don't sometimes understand the complexity. And so I had to like bring it down to layman terms is I was in prison for depositing cannabis profits into my bank account. Like that was it. And those charges translate as conspiracy with the intent to distribute over 100 kilos of marijuana, which is cannabis, but still referred to as marijuana in the court systems. There was conspiracy to money launder, and then the structuring of the financial transactions. So all three of those charges simply for depositing the profits from cannabis sales into my bank account.
And so when you say depositing, you weren't the distributor
No.
of the marijuana,
No.
but you allowed the profit to be
Yes.
in your account with your
Yes.
name.
Yes.
And what year was this?
That was 2009.
Okay.
For about 9 months,
9
from
months.
January to September of 2009, and then I had my daughter in October. It was literally during the pregnancy. I was a third year at Loyola Marymount, and it's not an excuse, but it just didn't seem like a big deal. I'm not really paying attention to this. I'm more focused on, oh shit, I got a baby on the way.
Right.
You know?
And so to keep it 100, it was beneficial for you at the time. Being in college, it was just beneficial.
It was a profit for me of about $14,000. So $14,000 total, ma'am. I went to prison for $14,000. That's it. There was more deposited, but my piece for allowing that was $14,000. So yeah, it was beneficial, but it wasn't the sole motivator. Like I thought I was just helping out a friend, and in return, he's looking out for me.
A profit for you, exactly.
And it's weed, and he was just such a better friend in so many other aspects, like with the pregnancy, that it was just a favor, really.
Right. When you were convicted, how old was your daughter?
She had just turned 4. We had a big birthday party on Saturday, and then I had to report to court on Monday.
And you were gone?
And I never came home. Well, I came home 5 years later. I took her to preschool Monday, and then my stepmom took me to the airport, and that was it.
Wow. So that day that you had to turn yourself in, I'm sure you were like scared for your life. What was your internal mindset? Did you have a case? Was there a trial? So there was a trial?
There was a trial. So I didn't turn myself in because there was a trial.
Okay.
Because I went into this, I don't think I've ever shared this part. So, because I went into this ready to fight, right? Like I'm a fighter. I have a college education. I am privileged enough to have had $45,000 to pay an attorney, right? And so I went into this like there's no way I'm going to prison. They had given me so many plea deals that I turned down. And finally, my mom.
Explain what a plea deal is. Again, a
Yes.
lot of people hear these terms and don't
Yes.
understand exactly what happens. What is a plea deal?
So they offered me a plea to settle out of court, basically. And I think they were offering me like a 2-year sentence. But in return, I needed to write a statement of facts that they drafted up that sort of lined out this conspiracy that I just couldn't. That's not what happened. It's 60 people on my indictment. So I am not going to contribute to the storytelling, right? Like, and I felt like contributing to the storytelling would be admitting guilt.
Right.
And so, no, thank you. And I get a lot of like, oh, she was solid. Like that was just my thought process. Like if I contribute to the storytelling, I'm admitting guilt. So no, thank you. My mom had the pastor call me. And he tells me the whole story about praying and, the man in the middle of the ocean on the boat and you're praying and all these boats come by and you're still waiting.
Right.
So
good old pastor.
Good old pastor. And his purpose was to convince me to take the plea. And so I go to court and they're trying to hold like this bond over my head. And I went down there to sign the plea and I had pissed the DA off by not getting my bond revoked. And so my attorney was like, well, you kind of pissed him off. I don't think he's going to be any good to you in sentencing. Just, we take it to trial. They don't have any evidence. What I thought. And then, so I took it to trial. And so I tell people all the time, my crime is not what got me in prison. Me going to trial is what got me in prison.
Yeah.
It wasn't the crime. So it's we could talk about the system all day, but there's blackmail. There's eventually to even get the 87 months, I had to waive all of my rights to an appeal because they were well within their rights and had every intention of giving me 24 years in prison. And so what happens is it's a whole jury. So now the jury has to deliberate. I come back. I'm still like, I don't know, like this blind faith. I don't know what I was thinking. I just did not see it coming. And when they say guilty, that's it.
That's it.
You hear the handcuffs
and that's
going
it.
in the back.
That's it.
And that's it. And you're going to jail. I was in North Carolina on the other side of the country.
Wow. You weren't even in California.
I wasn't in California. I had family in the room. I never looked back. And that first night, that first day, even like I sat in the cell, in the holding cell in the courtroom. I don't think I ever stopped screaming. And Natalia is there and she's just completely silent. They have us in the same cell. I don't think I ever stopped screaming. I didn't know.
And when you say screaming, you're talking about like just crying
on the ground, about to just, it's not
losing
even,
it.
I'm losing it. And this is the part that I've never shared is that I had gone into court with, my court attire, my high heels. And the only vision in my head was like, can I get the heel in my throat?
So you're in the holding cell, literally contemplating taking your life.
It wasn't the cell. It was, I'm not going to pick up my daughter. I don't know what's ahead of me. You guys took from me being a mother more than anything. And I spent my first night on suicide watch, which is butt naked in the cell.
That's so complex. When you think about, first of all, the charges, and you think about a first-time offense, what that does to your mental state, what that's doing to your body. When did you finally accept that this was the time you were going to have to do? Like, what was the turning point for you, in addition to faith, of course, but like mentally, what was that turning point?
It took 23 months. I just talked about it yesterday, Denisha. It took 23 months because, I'm found guilty and they send me to the county jail. Typically, the county jail is meant to house you for like up to 3 months while you're waiting for sentencing. It took 23 months for my sentencing to happen. So I sat in a county jail for just a little under 2 years.
So not even having your sentence.
No.
Not knowing how much time, not being aware of the 87 months.
No, for 2 years.
But just in there, you're being held.
With the hope every day that today's the day. it's going to be over. I'm going home. When they go to sentencing, it's going to be time served. So for 2 years, that's what we were just talking about. And that's probably where the anxiety is coming from. So for 2 years, just hoping that today's the day, tomorrow or next week or
Any
next
day
month,
now.
any day now. So I don't accept it until I receive it, which was May of 2015. And I went in October of October 2013.
So you're talking about reliving trauma every day.
Listen,
just in that waiting phase.
in a county jail.
And what I've come to realize about trauma and reliving trauma is the effects it has on your body, right? And so there's an expectation for us to continue on and be strong through adversities. But when you're living through trauma every day, it's affecting your immune system, your heart rate, how you think, how you speak. Every system of your body is affected by that.
Long-term too.
Long-term effects.
Yeah.
Let alone you are in a federal penitentiary.
Well, right at that point, we're talking county jail.
Well, county jail, which is actually, people don't realize this, a little more
way
difficult than a federal penitentiary.
Listen, we're talking on a scale of we're talking dog food. There's no outside. There's no fresh air. I hadn't seen the sun. I hadn't seen the moon. There's no shoes. You're in shower shoes. The county, there's no microwave. There's no hot water. The county jail, like I said, is really for 2 or 3 months.
So there's no proper nutrition, proper hygiene.
Visits,
nothing.
Visits were 30 minutes a week. And so even if they would have, which we all thought it was a bad idea to bring my daughter, my mom came twice. You fly all the way to North Carolina to visit me. You can only see me for 30 minutes in 1 week behind the glass.
When it comes to your daughter coming to see you in such a frazzled state, where did that strength come from to just put yourself together so that you could see your baby? Where did that strength come from?
The Lord. It's sad and I don't know if the word is inspiring, but my daughter has the same resilience, sort of. And so I was afraid because it took me 2.5 years. So I got sentenced in May. It still took them 2 years to transfer me. 2 months to transfer me to California. So I got to California in June or July of 2015. And there I could have 6-hour-long in-person visits at the table.
Okay.
And her great-grandmother brought her. And I didn't think she would remember me. And we talked, but we're talking about a toddler, right? That was 4, and now she's going on 6.
Yes.
When I finally see her. That wasn't the case. She came in, and I'm really good with at this point I've learned how to cut off emotions. It takes a lot for me to cry. We visit the whole time. We play games. There's vending machine. There's no real emotion. She ran to me. It was time to leave. She gave me a hug, gave me a kiss, and we both held it together. And I got on the other side of the door, and I just cried.
Lost it.
And Grandma said they got on the freeway, and Venice lost it. And she had to pull over on the freeway. And to this day, my daughter has that same, I'm not going to cry for my mom in front of my mom, and my mom is not going to cry in front of me. Probably very toxic, but we have held it together for each other.
Because you had to.
Right.
And that's such resilience. But what I've been so interested in my healing journey is the truth behind that. Because we can, yes, we call it God. Those of us who have some sort of faith and belief, we can call it Jesus. We can call it that. But it's just amazing to me the effects that it has on our brains and our bodies and how we just know as humans to show face. But then we don't really return to the long-term effects of that. We keep going and keep going and keep going because you had a daughter to think about. And so when it came to your sentence, you understanding the time that you had to do, when it came to self-love and mental health, that had to have been a priority to you for you because you had somebody on the other side, not just a man or a mom, but your daughter. How did you carry that? Like what were your daily practices once you started your federal time, once you were in the penitentiary, which is a little bit more put together, right, than the county jail, right? But what was your practice? What was your day-to-day life like?
I want to say this first because when you're in there, you're not keeping it together for people at least I wasn't. Like my coping was to cut off. And I was still in the county jail and I had called home because when I went away, my daughter didn't have no artificial flavors. She was only listening to I would put on classical music in the car. There was
making sure she was good, huh?
Like I was
you weren't gonna repeat
one.
those generational
I was
cycles.
the one. Like there was no noodles, there was no Cheetos, and I called home one day to my stepmom, and she's eating Cheetos. And I'm like telling my stepmom, like, she's not supposed to have Cheetos. Why she eat Cheetos? And my stepmom told me, girl, you are not running anything out here.
She gonna get all the noodles and all the Cheetos.
And that's all she's eating right now is a cup of noodles. But that's when I had to just like cut off. And I maintained I maintained like my composure and fed into myself. But it wasn't really for the outside world, right? Because I realized then that I'm not running anything out there, and that world really doesn't have anything to do with me. And
so you had to detach
from
the idea of what was happening with your daughter day to day.
All the way detach. Because otherwise you get caught up in trying to control it. Like I did have awesome parents who made sure she got in the schools that I wanted to. She's super fed. I've got friends, like the entire village came in, and I just had to sort of watch from the outside. The day-to-day in the federal was, I was just looking at pictures like, damn, I need to go back to that. Because I hit the track like 3 times a day.
So it was a physical.
It was, I stayed in the church. The prison is sort of like split up into cliques. Stayed in the chapel. I still have a really good friend from Victorville, Butler, who just ministered to me inside, and she still ministers to me now. And crocheting. And like, I just honestly, like I was chilling. Like I think about like the hustle of life now, and I was just like, no lie, I was just in the middle of like a mental break 2 weeks ago because it's like just the world is too much, right? Like, are we zombie apocalypse,
right?
COVID, I don't even know, and then managing 5 businesses, no team, right? Like, but I was in a mental break the other day, and I was just like, it's sad when you would miss prison.
Right. That conditioning, the isolation from the real world.
I am isolated.
Yeah.
And that is like long term, right? Like I am completely isolated. The county jail for 2 years, you're in a cell by yourself for at least 15 hours a day. No noise, no music, no. That's me now. Like, please don't come here with no noise, please,
So there's a conditioning that you still suffer from.
I don't know if I'm suffering because I'm like, it's quiet in my house.
Right.
But yes, absolutely.
Well, I mean, I think they call it like PTSD.
PTSD, that's what I call it.
PTSD.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people think about the effects that women have.
Right.
The effects on women when they're in a penitentiary like that. I think it's a different dynamic than being a man because you're a woman and women are supposed to have in my opinion, different type of care than a man as in regards to surviving, right? And so other than the crocheting and the working out and making sure you were tapped in spiritually, did you communicate with anybody on the outside that really helped you mentally?
Yes, I stayed on the phone.
Okay.
So I was blessed enough to have once you're in the feds, you pay for your own phone calls and you only get 360 minutes
a month. Okay. That's not a
which
lot.
Is a joke.
So you had no rollover time.
I mean, none. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Actually caused me a lot of damage in the first time I was, the first month that I was there. But I would only cry to my daughter's father.
Okay.
And I just felt like no one else deserved to hear me suffering. So I even sort of ate that. Like, maybe call my mom once or twice crying.
So you
even
were
though I talked
masking
to
a
her.
lot. You were masking a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And I talk to my mom every day, my stepmom, my sister, my dad got a call every week. Everyone really took care. Like, I maxed out commissary every month, maxed out the phone every month.
A blessing.
A huge blessing. But I didn't want them to feel like it was suffering. Like, I cover everything in a joke.
Yeah, yeah. So your the first few months when you're away from your daughter, where did you find your mindset? Like truly, like that's what I'm mostly interested in. Because I think about if I were ever away or just being stripped from my family like that, and even not having a daughter, I don't know how I would make it.
You just don't have a choice.
Right.
I went in October, so Christmas is right around the corner.
The holidays.
The holidays come, but I'm still on this any day now, right?
Right.
It's
Of
first
not
couple
having your
of months
sentence.
of not having my sentence, but we had like this Miss Van Holten, petty ass officer on Christmas Eve, and you had for lunch 20 minutes to eat your meal and be back in your cell. So we're wrapping up lunch, and I'm asking Natalia, like, do you want this orange? She's like, yes, I passed her the orange. So I maybe got into my cell 30 seconds late. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't do anything. But when she leaves and the new officer comes on, she leaves a note for everyone who was late in their room.
Mm-hmm.
And so we didn't get to come out that afternoon to
On
make
Christmas.
phone calls on Christmas Eve. So I didn't get to call home my first Christmas Eve. And I fucking lost it, excuse my language. Like, I'm in the cell throwing, anger is real in my life. So I'm in there, like, throwing shit. I'm turning over. I'm, like, so upset that I don't get to call my daughter because they got the Santa Claus.
That's a big deal.
We have the Santa Claus app,
yeah.
right? So we're waiting for Santa Claus to come. We're doing all of these things, and I don't get to call home. I'm losing it. The cell next to me, she's like trying to talk to me through the walls. And finally I calmed down enough to pick up a book. And I picked up Ayala Van Zandt book.
She's a blessing.
She's a blessing. I hadn't read it. I have this stack of books that I hadn't read yet. And I wish I could quote the name of the book, but I pick it up and it starts off with Christmas Eve. And it's like this, whatever year this is in. And she's walking me through her Christmas Eve, and she's just lost her daughter to cancer. And I was like, well, go to bed.
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
Right.
Everything is just like, you'll be okay.
Right. Right.
It could be worse. It could always be better, but it could always be worse. And I just felt like that was the spirit talking to me. Because my daughter was like, I have to tell them, she's at home. She's got 1,000 presents under the tree. She's with my mom. She's safe. She's super loved. And realizing that when God created her, I'm not the only person equipped to care for her. And that is really what carried me. It was like, she's really his child, not
your
mine.
Faith. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your faith, your belief, that knowing and understanding. Yeah, that's important. I find that that's what has carried me often in my journey of wanting to give up and, tapping into my childhood traumas and what those things have done for me, having an autoimmune condition, losing my hair, really just putting everything on the table has definitely been faith and what that looks like for me. Otherwise, I would lose my mind several times over.
Right. Because that's us trying to control things.
It's us trying to control things. It is us trying to control things. When it comes to your health, though, now, right? So just fast forward a little bit. The trauma that you endured of being at home, being stripped away from your home, stripped away from your daughter, how important is the concepts and daily practice of self-care? Let me ask you this. What was self-love for you when you were doing your time?
I don't know that I know what self-love is yet. Self-care I've got.
Right.
I think self-love is when you are making decisions that are evidence of your love for yourself. I don't know that I'm there yet. I am in this year, and I don't know because I'm always paying attention to time. this year in will be my 5th year. Like I've
Home.
just started what will be my 4th year. So in February it'll be like 5 years home. And so I'm hoping.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And for me, that's you've been home as much time as you've been gone. And so I'm hoping, like I've got this thing in my head that when that 5-year mark comes, like I'm done talking about this, it's done. And I'm hoping that any residual evidence of it is gone. So in this year, I've had to step back into the things that I was doing on the inside. Like, how am I managing my thoughts? What books am I reading? What physical exercise am I doing? Because for the last 4 years, there's no breaks.
It's a go, 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 grind, grind,
You
grind,
have 2
grind,
years.
grind.
You have 2 weeks to find a job when you come home, or they can send you back to jail.
Right.
So I came home, and my mom, bless her heart, must have been tired, because as soon as I came home, she was like, "Here's your daughter." She went
Right,
to.
have
I
her.
literally was gone to Vegas like 2 days later. I'm not even supposed to have my daughter in my custody yet because I'm still ankle monitor. She did not care. So bless her heart. But there has been no breaks,
Yeah.
and so I'm looking at a picture of me while I'm still incarcerated, like a month before, and I look so healthy, and I look so, my skin
Fit,
is glowing. I look
everything.
so, my calves is like, you're running marathons, and I'm like, girl, you out here wearing waist trainers right now.
Yeah.
So I'm coming,
Trying to get to the gym.
trying to get,
Right.
just trying. I went to started my hot yoga yesterday again. So just trying to make time and adopt. And this self-love concept for me right now is a priority of, am I making the decisions that support me and support where I'm going and support putting a smile on my own face?
Right. Well, I'll tell you this, by definition in Webster, right?
Yes.
Your idea and definition of self-love is the nail, you know, it's in,
It's
right?
in there.
Nail on the head. Is that the right term? Nail on the head? Nail on the
I
head.
think so.
Girl, listen, I'll be trying to know everything. It's nail on the head because the definition per Webster says one's most highest regard for self. And when I think about that, it gets blurry with like, oh, let me go get a mani, let me go get a pedi. But self-care is different than self-love. Self-love is doing the work that is most difficult, doing the things that you know you need to do to heal, to elevate yourself. So when you said you were in and you were reading the books,
Right.
you were running, all of that was self-love.
Yes.
That was an act of self-love, because you could have totally been like
I'm finna
plenty of
eat.
other people and just, oh, let me make sure my body is together. Let me make sure these funds are together. But when it comes to the mental aspect of like trauma, you have to tap into doing the things that you don't really want to do. You have to be honest with yourself about who you are, right? You had to release the pressure on yourself of, I'm trying to control my daughter's life while I'm doing fed time.
Right.
All of those are practices of self-love, like surrendering, submitting to where you are. That is self-love. What you feed yourself, what you're thinking, all of those different things are self-love. Self-care is then the result of you living a lifestyle and having a mindset of self-love, right? Which I'm sure we can go on forever, because I'm interested in that too, like the proper care women have in the pen. Hair products, sanitary products, lotion, all of that, right? Dental care, hygiene.
Oh, don't get me
Could you get a
started
pap
on-
smear? All of that. Again, see?
I don't think so.
So remind us of how many
smears.
months, how many years is 87 months?
5 years.
Did you get a pap? Were you allowed to get a pap smear?
Listen, I'm almost, there was no pap smears given, and there was no pap smears given. I had an experience with the dentist where they didn't fill the cavity and then had to go and pull the tooth. And I'm in tears. And the dentist is like, "Why are you crying? It doesn't hurt." Because I'm leaving jail without a tooth. And at home, I spend money on porcelain caps and crowns.
Your teeth are beautiful.
And so, the contraband that comes into a woman's prison. So, men, it's lots of drugs. And I'm learning that it's less about drug addicts and more about hustling now that I'm looking at. But there's like lots of drugs going into the men prison. in the women's prison, there's Chanel lipsticks coming through. There's like
Wait a
mostly
minute.
makeup.
Wait a
Oh,
minute.
please.
Y'all in there beating faces?
Not me, because I'm just lazy.
Right.
But yes, they are in there. Oh, on the weekends, baby, I used to be like, where is y'all going? But no, we're talking about hot red lipstick. We
Had to make something out of nothing. Yeah.
threading eyebrows with the thread out of laundry, like stitching. So they're threading. So they're gonna make a way. You know, first of all, they are gonna make a way.
Right.
They're curling their hairs in the county with toilet paper rolls.
How?
Girl, I don't know, because I never cared enough. So that's another like PTSD. And so for me, it's really hard at home getting dressed and giving a damn. I didn't even wear a bra the whole time. Like, for what?
Right.
Like, I am too comfortable.
Right. You in here doing this time. Who cares?
Who cares? But no, they're getting the Kool-Aid packs. They've got blush, baby.
Listen.
They didn't tinted their lips, baby.
Listen.
They are not
Those
playing.
pictures have to be right for the family, for the boyfriends and baby daddies, all of them.
They you can pay somebody to stitch your pants to make everything fitted. I did what I spent money on was I had someone doing my laundry, and there was a older lady in there who did facials. I mean, all from commissary. She'd get the oatmeal and the honey and
all of that.
So they're
all of that, but y'all didn't get pap smears.
But we did not get no pap smears, and we didn't have no dental, no medical.
Okay.
But the women will make a way.
Right,
you know, $5 I could get a 30-minute massage. You come massage.
So you had some self-care.
I had some self-care.
I
was on the bocce team.
I love that.
Right.
I love that. That's important.
Right.
What about in regards to like the mental health? Did they provide therapy, counseling, group sessions, things like that?
I learned the first night on Suicide Watch because I was just hysterical. At that point, probably not suicidal, but definitely hysterical during the intake process. And so they fast forward, they put me on Suicide Watch. Suicide Watch was a turtle suit, which was a green vest, little padded, with Velcro down the middle, went to your knees. And then they put you in an empty cell that they've taken the mat out of.
So you can't harm yourself with anything.
No, but there's a metal bed frame. So now you're just laying on a metal bed frame that if it was that serious, there's many ways to have gotten the job done. I knew then to not cry to another therapist there. And so...
what do you mean by that?
So you're in Suicide Watch until you can be evaluated. And so when they come to evaluate me the next day, how are you doing, Miss LaChapelle? I am awesome. I love it here. I never want to leave.
So you have to mask.
Can I just please have my panties back?
Oh, wow.
I'm sure there's therapy, but I was like, I'm good.
Because there was a fear if you told the truth about how you were really feeling, there wouldn't be the support, but they would just put you in isolation.
In isolation, as if this is a place that anybody really wants to be.
Right.
I don't know if the word is commend, but in order to get a year off my sentence, I had to complete a 50-hour drug treatment unit, life skills. And I learned so much. Like, I look at that program, and I'm working on a nonprofit now called Ladies Loving and Living.
Okay.
If they had those 500 hours of training in the world, in the high schools, of just what is effective communication, what's aggressive versus passive aggressive, how do you, identify, how do you
real
self. Oh, I learned
communication. Yeah.
I learned so much. I still I'm tapping back into that now, into those authors. That's where I was introduced to Brene Brown, who really changed.
She's amazing.
My perspective. She told me to tell your story and love yourself while you're telling it. And after that, I was like, oh, we're good. I can tell you anything.
That's so difficult. I understand that, right? Yeah. I get that. And I'm here now, and I still struggle day to day, just like you said you do.
Right.
But telling your story and loving yourself is two separate things, because you can tell your story all you want. But when you go home behind closed doors, that doesn't necessarily mean you loving yourself. And so that's what the healing, that's what Evolutionary is all about. It's the rebellion against those traumas, those intergenerational traumas, those traumas of being in the penitentiary, the traumas of child abuse, and moving beyond it, like rebelling against it suppressing you. Yeah.
I'm reading The Mastery of Self.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was reading on the flight last night. And I finished with shifting the story, right? Like they gave an example of how you tell the story is, I was in prison. I lost so much. I lost my stepmom. It was devastating. And changing how you tell the story to your nicer voice of, I experienced loss that helped me find self-love, that helped elevate my business, right?
Yes.
That gave me a platform. And so I'm not A+ with it, of course, but even shifting how I tell the story.
Because you've totally shifted it.
Yeah.
I want to go into that. You totally shifted it. You did your time.
Mm-hmm.
You came home, and you have an entire company now,
Mm-hmm.
like founded in your trauma and
Right.
what you experienced.
Mm-hmm.
So your company is called 87 Months.
Yes.
Okay. I know you legally sell. I'm gonna just say it.
You
legally sell weed now.
Listen.
So, but what is the terminology behind it? Because I don't even know. I want you legally sell weed.
Listen,
You're a
can
drug
take
dealer.
the girl out the hood, but you can't take the girl. When
What
I
does that look
send
like?
out my emails now to get my product on the shelves, I do like a brief. I spent 87 months in prison, et cetera, et cetera. And then it goes, and now I sell weed legally through email. Excuse me, we're selling weed. I'm doing deals through my Gmail account. It's crazy to me. It's crazier because I didn't sell weed
Before.
I wasn't selling weed before, right?
Yeah.
Like
you didn't go to prison for selling weed.
I didn't go to prison for selling weed. But it feels good.
Yeah. So you shifted your story.
I did.
You shifted the entire narrative.
Yes.
When were you released? What year?
2019.
2019 you were
February
released.
2019.
How old was your daughter in 2019?
I made it home just in time for her 9th birthday.
Her 9th birthday. Who was she? I'm sure she was like a totally different kid.
I'm learning that she's a different kid now too. But she was.
So you went.
She was
went
4.
home. So you went to prison. She was 4. You came home. She was 9.
I have at that point missed preschool, kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade. So I came home. She's a 4th grader. So yeah, that's not like,
that's a lot of time.
When I left, she was a toddler. I'm still like chopping up her food.
Right.
When I came home, she's got a cell phone.
Right.
And our time back together was a little, I don't know. It's cut off. Like we haven't really addressed it. I still need to get us some therapy. But I was the mom that she came to visit on weekends. We played Battleship, cards. We ate all the food out the vending machines. So I'm really the fun mom. Like I would, we're just doing all fun things. There's no discipline coming from me. And then I come home and I'm serious about education, about nutrition, and I tell her there's 3 things that you need to know: that you're loved, that you're fed well, and that you're educated. Like those are, and then I had to add, and that you know the Lord, because this world is getting crazy.
Yep, it is.
But so I was a new person to her.
Mm-hmm.
And so her adapting to like this lady who doesn't want me to eat candy or is going to make me brush my teeth. And then, for lack of better words, being homeless. Like we stayed at my sister's house and we shared a room. But it didn't give us room for us to be me and her.
Because you were somewhat, and forgive me for saying this, but you were a stranger.
Absolutely.
You were a stranger. Yeah.
Absolutely. And they didn't give me I didn't have no time. I forget the word that I'm looking for, but no, it was just like, here's your daughter too, right? Like, and
take care of her
take
now.
care of her now. You're
right.
home and you're done. And so immediately she came to stay with me, like immediately. And then we're sharing a room and so I think we are just getting into our groove. We've been in our own place for 2 years now, I think.
Yeah, that's important.
She has her own room and now she's a new person. Now she's a teenager. Mm-hmm. And I'm learning. It's funny you said that. I have to release control again of just knowing that this is the age of like discovering yourself, finding yourself. And yes, I get to pick the school and make sure that she's home and do all, but also I have to like
let her experience
go.
life.
I have to let go.
How do you exhibit in your day-to-day life? How do you exhibit self-love, mental health, communication even, like, especially these day and age, like the kids, the adolescents, it's a lot going on. It was a lot going on when we were growing up, but just the ideas of what self-care is, what self-love is, confidence, how do you exhibit that for her? I know it's a priority, knowing you, but
I wish. I do.
Yeah.
Now that you've brought it to my attention, because the grind has been so hard that the way I smoke weed to manage that. And then when I smoke weed, at least for the first year, I don't want her to see me smoking weed. Mm-hmm. So I had to like put up that buffer. She knows now, and because I'm like, listen, I can't keep go high. Listen,
and transparency is important. I think our parents might have missed that us growing up, but transparency is important. It don't matter if you're doing right or wrong. You let them learn what is right or wrong. Be an example, but be transparent.
So and then it just being me and her, single mom. Or like you're seeing where she's not missing a beat for sure.
Right.
And so I have had to just be like, even with my relationships, just be a little more, open with her. I let her know that you can, change your mind. I'm most proud though that she has seen her mom come home and boss up. Like, and this was never a priority for me. But now that I've got her into private, like she's been in private school her whole life. But now that it's me and she sees that it's me and she knows what I have to do to make sure that she's got the fresh kicks on. And, we don't want it to be about material things, but it's a moment for me to be like, she sees that I was gone for 5 years and there's nothing that I'm not breaking my neck for her to have.
There's nothing that she needs. She has everything that she needs.
Everything.
Yeah. So I want to talk about your company.
Yes.
87 months. Yep. That's the amount of time you did in prison for having marijuana funds deposited into your bank account. Mm-hmm. First time offense, college educated, 87 months. You come home. When you were doing your time, did you know I'm going to start this business. I'm going to flip this. Nope. What did that look like? Because people see the result.
Right.
They see, oh, she got her business. It's a brand. This is great.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But what did that look like?
We can thank the Omni hotels for that.
Okay.
Because I came home with no intention. Prison had done what it was supposed to do.
Right.
It convinced me that I was wrong.
Right.
And so I came home like, I'm not going to touch weed, smell weed, don't want to talk about it. It never happened. It's behind me. I figured out how to answer this felony question on this resume and we're good. And so I got hired at the Omni in San Francisco and I'm like, I made it. And I'm thinking I made it because I landed, Omni paying me $52,000 a year or something, right? Like,
and what year was that?
2019.
Okay.
So I mean,
making that was good.
To come home making that, it sounds good, but in the grand scheme of things, we're not paying any bills. Right. I think it's like $22 an hour, but I was doing what I was doing prior to prison, which was sales and catering for the hotels. So I'm good. I'm getting my 30-minute lunch break in the dungeon. I'm in the office all day. Typical job. 2 months in, someone Googles my name, takes it to Human Resources. She calls me in her office. She like slides the article across the desk. She's like, is this you? How many Evelyn LaChapelles you know, ma'am? Yes, that's me. She can't figure out how I passed her background check. And they fire me on the spot. Well, she waits 2 weeks. She's like, go pack up your things and leave. So now I've got to walk out of the building. Ironically, I had former associate had hit me up earlier that day, someone I had been incarcerated with. And she's like, I'm so proud of you. You give me hope, this, that, and the other. And I was like, I don't know, Steph. It feels like any minute it's like I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for the ball to drop. And she's like, no, you got this. I kid you not, like a day later, the ball dropped. And I'm leaving San Francisco with everything that I had just put in my new desk. Mm-hmm. And I think that was my first time crying since I had been home. And
you say that a lot, that you don't cry.
I know. I don't get to. I want to, because I know it's in there.
It is.
But I don't get to. That is what did it, is that I knew corporate America wasn't finna fool with me. And my degree didn't matter no more. My work ethic didn't matter no more. My experience, this resume didn't matter no more. I went back to waitressing. I waitressed 2 jobs for that first year, like year and a half. I just waitressed and I was like, I thought this is going to be it. And then I went and spoke with an organization, Last Prisoner Project, and in the crowd, the COO and CEO of a company named Vertosa, which they make the infusion for cannabis beverages. They heard my story and they was like, we've got to find a job for you. What do you do? And I was like, well, I do sales and catering. I do events. Like, boom. So that was my first job in the legal space. And my first meeting at that job, we're in the conference room. This is right before COVID hits. We're in the conference room and we're discussing sales in kilos. I was like, damn, you was
Kilos
just
meaning
of cannabis.
okay.
Like if I'm just in jail for this, you know. So
how did that feel? Like you did all this time for that, and now you are like right in front of it legally.
Listen,
This is what you're getting paid to do now.
At $70,000 a year, right? And so it was mind blowing. And then there's like this righteous anger of like, I love those people. Vertosa knows I love them, but y'all haven't been where I've been to be raised, you know, fundraised out of this world and science and all. You guys haven't been where I've been, you know? So that I think is what bred me. And I learned so much at Vertosa of how the industry operates and what goes into building.
So you were in that space angered by the fact that you had done all the time, and then you come home and it's illegal and you're getting paid to do.
I'm getting paid.
You're getting paid to basically produce this company.
Yes.
Right.
I'm getting paid.
A legal marijuana company at that.
Yes. In Oakland. And
So
I'm hosting their happy hours.
That I'm sure that was like just like kind of a mind. Yes.
Yeah. Because they don't look like us.
No.
You know?
No. So when did you decide, like when were you introduced to the possibility of, I'm going to just do this on my own?
Just do this. It was pandemic hit.
Okay.
They laid me off. What pandemic was March 2020. So by the time I got to October, which is when I formed the LLC, it was accessories. I was just going to do it. Well, I was still on probation, so I technically couldn't be plant touching. So I launched with rose gold accessories, grinder, joint case carrier. And it wasn't until recently that I did the flower, but it was really bred out of, I had spent 2 years. So from June 2019 to October 2022, I had spent a lot of time sharing my story, advocating for the incarcerated, and funneling donations to another organization. And then I still didn't have food in the fridge. And so it was like light bulb, and Corvain, being from prison, calling like, your story is worth something. It's valuable. Stop giving it away. Stop. And so I needed to create a place where people could support me as opposed to, or in addition to, supporting other organizations. So that's where
you found the light bulb to turn your trauma
into something.
They call it pain to power, right? So the company is 87 months. And what is the official title of what you do? Although we know in simple terms.
Yes.
What is the title?
So there's 2 parts. So it's 87 high essentials.
Okay.
And then I just created in August, launched with the Weed Lady.
Okay.
So it's like 87 doing
like
business
your
as
accessories, the Weed Lady.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the Weed Lady is not only paying homage to the time that I spent, but it's also paying homage to the women in this industry that are completely ignored, the women who look like us, women who live lifestyles like us, and maybe not me and you in particular, but like most cannabis is geared towards women's wellness, right? So yoga, if you're going on a hike, if you want to take a bath, none of it highlights the women who have to get up and hustle every day, the grind, the women who, like myself, still like to pop bottles on the weekends, who want to jet set.
The women who need to smoke because they are coping with their traumas. They are
Right.
coping with PTSD. They
Listen.
are trying to take care of their families and not trying to flip out. They
Yes.
can't sleep, those type of
Yes.
things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the weed lady is saying that weed is not a crime, especially on Black and brown women who don't have that product when they go into the dispensary. It's all watered down. It's all, for lack of a better word, whitewashed. And weed has been in our neighborhood since day
Forever.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Black women are more comfortable with this plant because we don't have those stigmas associated with cannabis. We're natural shoppers for whatever reason, right? We overspend. We're talking, I tell the dispensary owners all the time, you won't meet another race of people that spends $200 every 2 weeks on their nails,
Yeah.
$600 on their lace front.
Mm-hmm.
Like we spend money and we love weed, and there's no brand that speaks to that. And so the weed lady came out of that. And both 87 and the weed lady always supporting incarcerated women, and not just women incarcerated for cannabis. But my eyes have seen too much to not support that mission.
So with your story, when I think about you and my purpose for wanting to have you here today is because it's a story of trauma. It's a story of overcoming. And again, although self-love has been popularized, self-care, there's a lot of blurred lines. I believe that it's self-love that kept you while you did your time. I believe that it's self-love that put you in the positions to tweak your resume, to work at the Omni. I believe that it's self-love that sparked the idea to even start your business and your why. Because you're telling your story, you're not afraid of it. So many people are afraid and ashamed of what they've been through. And so you could have easily come home, got a great job, lived your life, and
never looked back.
And just never looked back. But self-love has to do with an authentic living, even when it's things in the past that we're ashamed of, right? So your story to me is a story of self-love, a story of healing. I'm so proud of how you've come home and managed to take care of yourself and be an example to your daughter. I know she's a whole teenager now, so it's a journey. But in your discovery of self-love, and thank you for being honest about, well, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what self-love is.
Right.
But just know that you're doing it. You're actively doing it in your day-to-day life. And I think that is the biggest example that you can project is just that transparency as you learn what it looks like for you in doing the work that's not easy. So many men and women come home from prison and have no idea what to do.
Yeah.
In fact, that often means that the recidivism of them going back, it just keeps happening because they don't know what to do.
As soon as the people fired me at the Omni, that's what it went to, right? Like if I was a real criminal and I had real connections, there's no way I don't go back to the streets to eat. Because you guys don't have space for me out here, for real. There is really no second chance. There are no resources at the halfway house when you get there. You have 2 weeks to find a job, and there's not even...
Which is ridiculous.
There's not even computers in the halfway house. And so, which is why I mentioned grace, right? Is because I looked at people, especially in the county jail, coming in and out, like, how dare you leave jail and come back? And I haven't even had a chance to leave once, right? Like, and there was all this judgment. And then you get home and you're like, oh.
You get it.
But if you didn't have family, Evelyn, where would you be?
Right.
If you didn't have somebody waiting to pick you up, where would you be? If you didn't have, right? If you didn't have that restaurant, Kingston's, that was like, we don't care about your background, you can come work here, where would you be?
Where would you be?
And shout out to Nordstrom's because... No, and I always have listen, because
shout out to
I am very particular about companies and brands names that I say out loud on the microphone. If you're not paying me, you're not getting it. But Nordstrom's hired me while I was still in the halfway house in their cafe.
Okay.
And in order for me to work there, they had to take responsibility of me as an inmate. They had to acknowledge that they knew I was still in custody
Grace.
and that they would call if I didn't show up. And so as a person, you don't want to take that in to your job that you just got. You know, like I
But
went
you
through
didn't have to. You didn't have to hide it. You didn't have to hide it.
well, I couldn't.
Yeah.
And they could have said no thank you, you know? And so it just let me know that there are some companies, you know, and I guess I can't speak for all the interviews that they've ever done, but in my case, that was a big company, a big organization that was like, we don't care. Her resume says she can wait tables. Like she has experience, she has a personality, and I'll sign. Like someone in HR had to act, you know, sign that we will be responsible for Evelyn while she's at work, which is crazy, but they did. And so I understand now how someone can end back up in jail, because regardless of if you give me a job or not, my daughter still has to eat.
Right. Right.
That doesn't stop, you know?
Well, thank you. Thank you for
welcome.
being here.
Thank you.
Again, Revolutionary, the rebellion
Yes.
against intergenerational trauma.
Yes.
Someone who is embarking on a journey to heal. And even if not knowing exactly what that looks like, just taking that step. You've done that. You are a Revolutionary. I am excited to see where you go with 87 months and the Weed Lady. Please drop the apps, the websites, the goodies, the cookies.
Yes, I'm so upset that I left the bag at home so that I can't show you all on camera.
Okay.
But you can. I'm going to send you to 2 places. There's 87months.com. It's so easy to remember. Please sign up for the newsletter because social media just doesn't like cannabis. And so every so often you're shut down, violations, et cetera. And so I'm learning that the newsletter is the best way to communicate. So 87 months, sign up.
That's 87months.com.
.com.
Okay, so it's the number 87 months, as in plural.
Yes.
.com.
.com.
Okay, newsletter.
You will find this. You will find the store there, the story in the shop, and then call theweedlady.com.
Okay.
So both websites mimic each other. Call the Weed Lady is the lifestyle brand, the hustle brand, the grind time brand.
Okay.
Just launched 3 pre-rolls, grind time, boss time, and break time.
So, okay, really quick, break down what those 3 strands are.
I will. So the grind time is going to be your sativa, is your get up and go, have a puff, have some coffee, go get up and get some money. If I've learned nothing else, there is money in the world and you literally just have to get up and go get it. Like that's it. I just learned that. I'm sad that it took me this long to figure it out, but there's money to be had, and the grind time is what I smoke when I'm going to get it. And then the boss time is a hybrid, and that's more like when I still have to go out, network, shake hands, chill my anxiety a little bit because I'm not an outside person.
Okay.
But it is still for the boss. Like you've made it. Like you've been chasing the bag all day. At the end of the day, you've like secured the bag. And so that's your boss time. And then break time is for your favorite breaks, right? Like my favorite pastime is bath time.
Okay.
So I get my break time. I get some of my CBD bath salts. I've got a candle on the store, indica and sativa candle. So I light my candle.
I love candles.
My bath salts. I take my break time puff. And so you'll find all of that on calltheweedlady.com.
Okay.
And then my Instagram is 87 months, the same way, 87 and then months plural. I think that's it. Yes. And then there's events. There's always events. So Bay Area residents, I have a Can of Kick It coming on April 22nd, but there's events. There's always pop-ups. And so the website will have all of that. Thank you for creating a space, right? Thank you for creating a space to be comfortable, to share, to talk. Most people just want to hear about the prison, and no one is paying attention to the trauma and the healing that is required.
Yes.
Most people don't come home from prison with a place to heal. And so thanks for, highlighting and creating that space.
Yes, this is just the beginning. This is what this space is all about.
Thank you.
Like I said, the healing will be televised. Because I say this a lot, but I believe that our traumas are a gift healed. Mm-hmm. We got to let go of the shame and the guilt and let that gift be, born. So Thank you.
Thank you. I love you. Shame and guilt be gone.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, yes, that concludes our episode here at Mastermind Media. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.